be seated.
Yes.
In this morning's gospel, we have the story of blind Bartimaeus. It's your typical healing story as far as the gospels go, but it's one of the ones that I really like because there's this interplay, this wordplay on sight. Bartimaeus is blind and is hoping one day to be able to see again. And here is Jesus coming through, and he's heard of this man who's been going around healing, and he wants to be healed, and so he calls out, and he says some very interesting words. He says, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." This is the first time in Mark's gospel that anyone has called Jesus the Son of David, that anyone has applied a royal title to him. And it's very interesting that it was a blind man who saw Jesus for who he was. So I love this play on sight, and physical sight and spiritual sight. That's one of the things I love about the story. But another thing that always strikes me is that there's this crowd. And the crowd always resonates with me because I see myself in the crowd. Because here is this person who's a blind person, he's a beggar, and they're trying to celebrate this important person, and here he is making a commotion, trying to disturb this very important person, and they very appropriately say, "Bartimaeus, be quiet. Don't disturb Jesus. He's got more important things to do than worry about you." How many times do we do that to the marginalized in our own lives? How many times do we walk past people on the street who are begging for money and either flat out ignore them or just say, "Oh, I don't carry money on me, I'm sorry," even though you have money on you? How many times do we hear about injustices happening in our own backyard, but we don't stand up for them? We don't say anything, we don't do anything. We just accept that that's the way our world is. And isn't it a shame, but that's our life. That's the world we live in today. We can so often be like the crowd. But the hope is that this crowd has a transformation. When Jesus hears Bartimaeus crying out the second time, he doesn't go to Bartimaeus. He addresses the crowd and says to them, "Call him here." We too are called to reach out to the marginalized in our society. We too are called to not ignore people who are trying to make a fuss when they simply can't be heard or are simply being ignored. Because that's what it means to be in the kingdom of God. That's what we strive for as a church. It's to be a place where we equip people to go out and make the kingdom of God a reality for every single person. And this morning, as part of our series of speakers to talk and share their story, I invite Roman and Laura Skorackis to share what it could be like to create heaven on earth.
As in the reading from this morning, there are many examples in the Bible where God's people are moving from one place to another in search of something better, something closer to our idea of heaven. As a family, we are familiar with this. We were given the opportunity to move and work at the James Cancer Center. We moved from Columbus to Columbus from Houston last fall in time to see the amazing colors of the changing leaves. It was as if we stepped into heaven, away from the humidity, into the crisp air. No refineries, fresh air, no hurricanes, no drought, flowing rivers. But we really missed our church in Houston, our community that we had become part of, and we searched desperately for a new home. Then, on a Wednesday, I attended the midday service where the pastor approached the altar peacefully and gracefully. under the natural lighting streaming in through the windows from above. He came in like a monk, and when I saw his running shoes peering out from under his robe, I thought that this must be our church. Everyone at the Sunday service met us graciously, extending thanks for attending and hopes for our return. And we remain thankful to everyone who extended this kindness and hospitality in a time where we felt very disoriented. There were several things that reminded us of our former church, from the outstanding music, to the children's choir with godly play Sunday school classes, the outreach, the adult forums, to the care for the creation, the blessing of the animals, and most of all, a philosophy of kindness, of inclusion, and spiritual strength and conviction. We were home.
And where else can you find justice and peace when you may have a dismal day or week, when the worldly responsibilities that we've created for ourselves seem to suck up all of our energies, demand all of our attentions, when things just don't seem fair, when the world seems to be full of greed and of torment. Each Sunday we come to this church to be refreshed and recharged, to be surrounded by kindred spirits and by the ideals of heaven. And then it's suddenly easier to keep the right mindset, to do the right thing, to spread heaven outside of these walls as well. But attending such a church comes with responsibilities, and really all worthwhile and great things require care and attention, some form of maintenance, and a lot of time, talent, and treasure to keep things moving in the direction of justice and peace, to have a little bit of heaven on earth. In fact, it's only through our care and attention that we embrace what we believe in, that we become the blind man in the gospel and we start to see, and that in fact we become the light. We thank everyone here who's here to donate their time and talent, serving on committees, the staff, the vestry, the choir, the crossbearers, the acolytes, the ushers, the attendants, nursery, Sunday school teachers, adult forum leaders, and the vacation Bible school leaders, the Altar Guild, the youth leaders, meal providers, Habitat for Humanity volunteers, St. John volunteers, all who donate to the pantry and abroad in Guatemala. We're all busy, but we must give our time and talent in some way to maintain all of this. When we think of all the efforts that go into a church just for keeping up the building and the grounds, it seems insurmountable. We know the cost of maintaining our homes. And obviously this is just a fraction of the size of a church: the heating, the cooling, the plumbing, the electricity, building materials, labor, paint, extermination, appliances, cost of the staff, our leaders. If you don't have a child in the children's choir, we can tell you how amazing their choir lessons have been, and how amazing the direction of Dr. Vester has been to our whole family. We need to give our treasures to maintain this precious place that inspires and recharges us to stay on this very right track.
As Picasso said, the meaning of life is to find your gift, and the purpose of life is to give it away. If we all give our time, talent, and treasure in some form, we can maintain this and improve it and create a little bit of heaven here on earth, full of justice and peace.